So episode 71 of Pokemon Horizons is out, and the Rising Volt Tacklers make it to the Crystal Pool proper. To make a bad pun, this is a rather stellar place. The legend of the dead is brought up, and we do see a melodic briefly with the ghost Terra type that was never used in the game, I believe. Then they meet Briar, and she is interested in Terapagos. Like, really interested in Terapagos. When asked if she has seen a Terapagos before, she has an interesting answer. She has. It's a very straightforward yes, and it's an awakened specimen, similar to this one. She is compiling her research into a book. Sound familiar, game fans? And when Liko reveals that Terapagos emerged from a pendant her grandma had given her, Briar has an interesting take. Terapagos really do take the form of jewels to hibernate then. Why do I say this? Sure, Briar could have simply read Heath's book. After all, that's what she does in the games. She reads Heath's book and identifies the jewel that Terapagos is sleeping as, and identifies everything else about Terapagos using that book, and it's even brought up in the anime where Heath wrote the Scarlet Book and came off as a madman or an occultist who is just prone to telling tall tales. But what gets me is that But then there's Briar's whole attitude about the whole hidden treasure of Area 0 bit. She recognizes the Terra form of Terapagos pretty much right off the bat when Liko shows her Lustrus's log, and Briar says, yep, this is exactly what it looks like. Keep in mind, this is what the illustration looks like in the games, so I don't think it's 100% one-to-one, but Briar comes off like she's speaking from her own experience. But how she handles this line probably sealed the deal for me. She says, changing from normal form to terrestrial form requires a special impetus or power of some kind, or so I theorize. It's the fact that she throws at a side glance, and this aside glance isn't her normal disposition. She's normally very happy and energetic. This aside glance implies that she remembers what she nearly did to Kieran, Carmine, and the player character in the whole Area 0 Underdepths, and she probably feels really guilty about nearly killing us all. So she says she's seen an awakened specimen of Terapagos before. It's the awakened part that really gets me to believe that she came into the Area 0 Underdepths and nearly got killed there, along with a bunch of teenagers. Then via side glance about her saying, oh, you need to trigger the terrestrial form somehow in order to actually sustain it, meaning that she probably remembers the Underdepths. And Arvin, Penny, and Nimona seemingly know each other. So, if you want a timeline, Briar has not handed Florian or Juliana a copy of the book she was working on yet. She mentions that much in this episode. It means the player character does not have a book to give to Sada at the Crystal Pool. I'm sure Mochi Mayhem did happen, because I don't think you actually need to access the scene with Sada or Turo at the Crystal Pool in order to access Mochi Mayhem. And that sort of would make sense. Carmine probably was in Kitakami with Briar, even though they're on some sort of break. Maybe Kieran decided to spend his break in Unova or something. I don't know, maybe he decided to go climb up the ranks again and reclaim his title. So, yes, this takes place after the Scarlet and Violet main campaign, after the Teal Mask, after the Indigo Disc, after the Area 0 Underdepths, but before Briar actually hands the player character the book. That's at least what I'm hoping they're going for. They could do whatever the hell they want because this is an anime not obliged to actually follow the games one for one. But that's what we have to work on so far. My thoughts, please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.